I'm Kathleen Burkinshaw. I'm a Japanese-American author, and today I'm going to be reading from my middle grade historical fiction, The Last Cherry Blossom. And it's based on events in my mom's life during World War II. She was 12 years old at the time. I already have chapter 1 up on my YouTube channel, so today I thought that I would read from chapter 2. We will never cease fire until our enemy ceases to be. Showa 19, August 25. Friday edition. I rolled over to pull the blanket up to my chin. My eyelids fluttered open as I yawned. It was still dark outside, so I figured I had more time to sleep, but our neighbor's rooster was telling me otherwise. I needed to finish the homework that I should have done before bed instead of mending the cover of Urashima Taro. It really bothered me that Genji didn't even have to help me clean up his mess. Aunt Kimiko made him apologize, but as soon as she left the room, he stuck his tongue out at me and ran after her. I could think of reasons to be angry at Genji all morning, but I still had homework to do. I crawled off my futon and grabbed my school bag from the bottom of my closet where I had thrown it last night. I turned on my desk lamp, my eyes squinting against the harsh artificial light. The homework assignment was to write in our journal about a favorite childhood memory. As I sat down to begin the entry, I became 5 years old again. "Do it again, Papa. Please, one more time." Papa chuckled and then cupped his hands over his mouth and hooted like an owl. It made me laugh to hear such a tall, serious man make such a joyful, high-pitched sound. That was how we spent our summer nights out on the veranda. The gentle breeze felt good after a hot bath. We both sat on the rattan sofa with our feet up on the coffee table. Papa told stories of our samurai ancestors, acting out battle scenes by changing his voice for each character. He would say, "We can laugh, little one, as long as you remember that you should have pride because of your ancestry. No one can ever take that from you. Family and honor are very important. You must never forget that." To break the seriousness, he again made the call to the owls. Before I gave him a hug and kiss goodnight, I would gently rub some ointment onto his neck. His arthritis would always be worse at the end of the day. The medicine had such an awful smell, and I hated that it was so sticky and hard to wash off my hands, but I gladly used it for Papa because I knew it made him feel better. Loud knocking on my door brought me back to the present. My Aunt Kimiko slid the door open, not even bothering to wait for me to say, "Come in." "Yuriko-chan, you must eat breakfast now. You are late." Not like that as a surprise. She shook her head when she saw my homework notebook open. "I am late because I had to repair the book that Genji ruined." "Yuriko-chan, I made him apologize. Besides, you did not have to fix the book last night." "You could have made him help me clean it up." "It is not as if you normally keep your room pristine. When I was your age, I was responsible for keeping my room neat and tidy, and you can't blame everything on Genji-chan. He is only 5 years old." Aunt Kimiko turned and left the room. I wanted to scream. Aunt Kimiko only spoke to me when she wanted to criticize or order me around, and it was always with an edge in her voice. She saved her softer, nicer voice for the times when she spoke to me in front of Papa, and for Genji, she always had an excuse. "Genji is too young. Genji is a boy." I returned to my journal, completing the last sentence. I held my pencil so tightly and pressed so hard that the tip broke just as I finished writing the last word. I sighed. As I put another pencil into my bag, my stomach growled. The sweet smell of casutera wafted into my room. I zipped up my bag and went downstairs to the dining room. I looked around the table and realized I had a rare moment alone with Papa. I could finally ask him about my Koseki project. "Papa, Yakamura-sensei said something to me in class that I didn't understand yesterday." I took a sip of my miso soup and grimaced at its bitter, salty taste. "Oh?" "When I handed in my family tree project, the teacher said that something was not right about it." Papa looked at me with wide eyes, his brow furrowing. "What Koseki project, Yuriko-chan?" I knew something was odd because he called me by my name and not Joya, his nickname for me. So I said, "I did not mention it while I was working on it because I knew the answers, and I was so proud of our samurai heritage that I wanted to surprise you with it." But she confused me with her comment. He huffed, then pushed back his chair and headed into his study. Before I could say anything, he dialed the phone and asked for Yakamura-sensei. Then he slid the door shut and I couldn't hear the rest of the call. "Yoriko-chan, you will be late. Go put on your school uniform," my aunt commanded. "But go!" I sighed, turned, and slouched up the stairs, stomping on each one. On any other day, I would have argued with Aunt Kimiko, but I didn't want to interrupt Papa's phone call with our shouting. Back in my room, on the bottom of my closet floor, was my starched uniform, balled in a heap. The white sailor shirt with the blue scarf made me look like I was 5 years old, and the pleated skirt was itchy. But I put them on nonetheless. In a feeble attempt to get out the wrinkles, I pressed my hands down the length of my skirt. Then I gathered my books and ran down the stairs to meet Papa at the front door. As I passed the hall window, I looked out, hoping to see a funeral procession. I hadn't seen one yet, but according to Papa's superstition, if a funeral passed by before he left the house, he would stay home. I held out hope that it meant I would stay home too. I reached the entryway and put on my shoes as Aunt Kimiko approached me. "Your Papa said you will be going in later this morning. His driver will take you to school today." The day was not off to a good start. Not only was Papa not staying home, but he wasn't going to join me on the way to school. I slumped into the car and the chauffeur, and I drove in silence. I kept thinking about what Papa said to the sensei on the phone, and what would that mean for me in class today? That is chapter 2 of The Last Cherry Blossom. There are a few Japanese words that are in there, and I do have a glossary at the back of the book that explains them. But a few of them were, the first one was kasutera, and that is a breakfast type of sweet bread. The other one was the koseki, and a koseki is basically like a family tree. So it was a family tree project that she was doing. The other thing mentioned is Urashima Taro, and that was my mom's favorite story growing up. And it is a old Japanese folklore, and I don't have like a picture book of it, but I do have the story of it that's in this book of Japanese fairy tales. And I also have a picture over here, that is showing Urashima Taro. And it's basically about a fisherman, and he comes across on his walk some boys being mean to a turtle. And so he saves the turtle, and it happens to be a magic turtle. And so he ends up riding on the turtle's back into the sea, and they look for a special palace. And so that type of story my mom would tell me when I was little. And then she also shared it with my own daughter, which was really special. And that is why she gets so angry when Genji ruins the book for her. So I plan on doing some more videos throughout the next couple of weeks, and I'll be talking about some Japanese culture, sharing some photos that I have that have never been seen before, about my mom, and I look forward to reading a couple more chapters to you all. So please remember, if you have any questions that you want to send to me, you can always go to my contact form at www.KathleenBurkinshaw.com, or I'm also on Twitter at KLBurkinshaw1. And I'm also on Instagram as well, so at Kathleen Burkinshaw. So I look forward to being able to interact with you throughout this, and I will see you soon. Please take care. Sayonara.